Hello students, this is Monica, PGT in Computer Science from Sri GK Jain High Secondary School. Today I am going to teach for 12th Standard Computer Application Chapter 7 Looping Structure. So in this chapter you will learn about the basic concepts in looping and what are the types of looping structure you have in PHP language. So coming to the introduction part, it is very useful for writing iteration logics. Iteration in the sense, for example, if you have one statement or more than one statement in a program and that set of statements to be executed repeatedly more than one time. So that condition or that technique will called as a iteration. You can tell it as other words. If you want a group of statements to be executed more than once, it will form a loop-like structure. So that is called as your iteration. So this looping structure is very useful for writing iteration logics. And it is most important feature of many programming languages. For example, C, C++, Python and even in your PHP. So it is very important feature of many programming languages. And you have in this chapter we will dealt about like 4 basic looping structures: for loop, for each loop, while loop and do while loop. And in this video we will briefly discuss about the first 2 major types of your looping structure. The first one is your for loop. Coming to the for loop is the most important looping structure which is used for your iteration logic. When the programmer knows how many times the loop has to be run. You can say it in other words also. If I am the programmer, I am giving one statement in the program. If that statement have to be executed 10 times, then my choice will be using of the for loop, because it's a basic easiest form of your looping structure. Coming to the syntax of the for loop, starting with the for keyword, open parenthesis, init counter, semicolon, test counter, semicolon, increment counter, close parenthesis, and open curly braces. You have to write the code to be executed and you have to terminate with the semicolon and you have to close the curly braces. So this is what is called as your syntax of your for loop. So coming to the explanation part, what this syntax is actually contain. This syntax have 3 major parameters in it. The first one is your initialization. This is your first parameter. Second one is your test counter. And third one is your increment part. So these 3 parameters combine with the semicolon and that forms the structure of your for condition. Coming to the initialization counter. What this initialization will do? It will initialize the loop initial value. So whatever the variable you are declaring inside your program. For example, if I am using I. Say $I. So this I have to be initialized with the initial value in this initialization part. And test counter will give you a condition whether this I is greater than or less than. Whatever test condition you are using, that condition will be given in the second parameter. And the third one is your increment. Increment is nothing but you will increment the loop counter value by 1. Plus 1, plus 1, like that you will increment the value and the loop executes repeatedly. This test counter plays a major role. Why? Because it evaluated every time the loop executes. If the test counter is said to be true, if it evaluates to be true, then the loop continues. If the test counter, if this evaluation tends to be false, then what happened? The loop will come to an end. So, if this test counter become true, is said to be true, then the code, whatever you are giving inside the program will be executed till the test counter become false. And this is your flow diagram how this process is actually working. So starting with the start, and this is your start of the loop, this is your end of the loop. Initial action is nothing but the initialization part. So whatever you are initializing in the init counter, that will come under this initial action. And the condition is your second part, test counter. So whatever conditions you are giving, based on that condition the loop executes. If this condition is test to be true, then what happen? Whatever code you are giving here, that will be executed. And action after each iteration. So once the first iteration got over, again what happened? The loop again goes to the condition. Again it checks the condition. Again the statement will execute it. So it repeatedly execute the process till it becomes false. If this condition becomes false, then what happened? Then the condition will comes to an end. So this for loop terminates. So this is your flow diagram. And coming to your example. So starting with the PHP for loop, I told you, you just compare this condition, this syntax with the example. Initialization counter, I am initializing the value with 0. Test counter less than or equal to 10. Increment counter I++. And echo, the number is $i. So till it becomes false, what will happen? Each and every number will be printed by using this print statement. So this is an example for your for loop. I hope you understand the basics of for loop. Now we will see about the second major type, your for each loop. Now coming to your for each loop. For each loop is exclusively available in your PHP, and this for each loop works only with arrays. And this loop iteration, whatever the loop you are giving, this loop iteration will depends on the each key value pair in an array. So whatever key value pair you are giving, so it depends on the each value in an array. This is a syntax for your for each loop. You have to start with the keyword for each instead of for. And open parenthesis, I told you this works only with arrays. So $array as $value. And you have to close the parenthesis, open curly braces, whatever code you are going to execute, you have to give that code here, terminated with the semicolon for each statement, and you have to close the curly braces. This is a syntax. And coming to how this for each loop is executing. Coming to the flow of your this syntax. This for each loop, the value, whatever the value in your current array element is, you have to, that current array element, we will point it to the current array element, you will shift that to your value, whatever the value you are giving here, and this pointer, this array pointer will move to one position to the other position, and till the pointer will reaches the end of the statement. So the array pointer will first point to your first element 18 till it moves to the end of the position. The array pointer will continue its execution. So sequence is equal to, you will declare here the 3 integer values in an array. So for each x of sequence, so for each value, that is x is nothing but each value in the sequence, you will print the x. So what will happen? The array pointer will shift from 18 to 20 to 32. So for each is nothing but each and every element in your array will be pointed by the array pointer till it reaches the end of the element, last element. So this is your end statement. So what will happen? 18, 20 and 32 will be printed one after the other. Example, this is an example for your for each. Starting with the PHP, student name. This is your variable. $student name is equal to array of. So you are giving the 3 student name inside the array with the double quotes. So this is a string, so you have to use the double quotes. So for each student name as array. So you are assigning each and every value in your student name to the array element, and the array pointer will move from one position to the other position till it reaches the end of the statement. So from ABC to XYZ and UVW will be executed, will be printed one after the other using the echo statement. This is nothing but your print statement. And this PHP, this for each loop in your PHP will gives you an error. When it gives you an error, if you use a variable of different data types. For example, here I am using all the three elements as a string, so it is not a problem. If I am using different data type value, one as an integer, one as a character and one as a string, then the for each loop will give you an error, or it will give you an error in an uninitialized value, a variable without any value. So it will give error in these two conditions. You have to declare all the values in the array of same data type, and it should be declared with the value. So uninitialized variable and your different data types will give you an error message in the for each loop. Students, today we discussed about the first two major types in your looping structure. The first one is for loop and the second one is for each loop. In my next video, we will discuss about the third and fourth type in your looping structure. I hope you understand the basic concepts of for and for each loop today, and you enjoy the class also. And for more educational videos, you can subscribe our school YouTube channel, and you will get the recent updates as well. And you can also give me a like option if you really like my video. Thank you students. See you in my next video.